I have no idea how anybody else writes a novel, but for me, there's a lot of attention paid to every detail. This map shows a location of where WYTHE'S is in relation to the other houses, their own private train station, and the village of Pequot. Then, when I was rewriting chapter 7, I had to figure out exactly what route they would take from the train station to get to Millie's Cafe. And that is Millie's Cafe. I also realized that I have to know all the street names, road names, shops, restaurants, banks, post office, police station, fire station. So I really got to know this little village quite well just by creating it. This is one of my favorite restaurants, Great White Bites. And there you can see the docks, the piers. And what I do is I collect photographs of different houses because I want Pequot to be a very traditional New England fishing village. Nobody is allowed to have blue, purple, or pink cottages. And these are the rental beach cottages. And then there is a row of cottages over here called the 7 Cottages. And one of my favorite houses is this one. This is the Tower House. And the Tower House looks like that. And then this is to warn people that there are great white sharks in the water. And these are 3 of the wonderful, colorful houses that you are allowed to have. And there are 3 wonderful Victorian houses. One is an old sea captain's house, and one is what the locals call the Addams family house. And then, of course, not only do I do all the details for the village and the setting for White's End, but I still have my family trees. That's Greed's Roost. That's the Braithwaite house. So nobody can say that I do not pay attention to the details. And then, of course, finally, I have drawn architectural plans for all the rooms of every floor at White's End. And you'll see a lot of whiting out where I have to change configuration when something isn't working. This is one of my favorite parts of the living room, the parlor. It's an ingle nook where on a stormy, snowy night, the great aunts tell the best ghost story while all the rest of the family is clustered all around. And I only leave the furnishings in pencil so that I can erase and move things around as I need to. And that, of course, is the grand piano that the little girl plays. And, of course, the kitchen has to be cozy and look out on the ocean. And I love the beautiful Aga stove that's going to go in there. So that's the first floor. This is the second floor. This is basically where the great aunts are. That's their bedroom. Their writing room. This is where they write their murder mystery novels. Their bathroom. They have 2 balconies. And this is the mother and father's bedroom. And almost everybody has a fireplace in their bedroom, of course. It helps when you're very wealthy. And then this is the grandparents' end of the second floor. This is their bedroom. Their private sitting room, but it's where the grandmother does her writing. They have 2 balconies as well. And they have their own private bathroom. Then on the third floor, this is where we put all the kids and the nanny. This is the nanny's bedroom. Not too shabby. She has her own fireplace, her own bathroom. And she has like a little sitting area for herself. And the youngest little boy's bedroom is right here and can be accessed from her bedroom. And he has his own little bathroom. Then there's a guest room. Then this is Liddy Pie's room. She has her own bathroom. There's a guest room, more bathrooms. There's Finn's bedroom. And this is the boys' hall. That's Thad's bedroom. And of course, there has to be a vampire room. And they have a wonderful vampire collection. Then, of course, there's the cellar. The cellar has a tunnel that connects the two sides of the house. And there's a wonderful old stone wine cellar, boiler room, laundry, old soap making. There's a vault for keeping really extremely valuable things. But the more interesting part of the cellars is this end. There are two cast iron grill gates here. There's a secret staircase that leads up to the secret library. But this is where the body of Esther Penn was buried before this house was built. So there's a lot of mystery about that. And then, of course, that's what the house looks like from the outside. It's a very typical, traditional shingle style architecture. Lots of hidden passages, secret rooms, all that kind of stuff. And more interesting is all the research now has pretty much been done. So I have 6 thick binders, and for each character in the story I have their biographies. This is the grandmother's typewriter. This is their bedroom. They're on one of their armoires, a little seat. And I have to know exactly what kind of furniture each room in the house is going to be furnished with. So I collect photos of mirrors, armoires, their beautiful leather furniture. The grandmother has a balloon chair. The grandfather has a wonderful old leather chair. And for every character, these are the great aunts. That's them at 80 years of age. This is them as young women. This is their story. Sophie is their dog. Grouch is their cat. That's them as very young women. And of course, these are the 2 characters that actually met Agatha Christie. And they write the wonderful Mind Your P's and Q's murder mystery series that's almost always on the New York Times bestseller list. And then these are photos of their little living room where they relax and do their writing. It's kind of like Victorian. There's a wonderful piece of furniture just for the entryway. And since one of the women is Scottish, she has a Scottish tartan plaid balloon chair. That's their bed. More of their living room. They have a wonderful, since they are lesbians, they have a wonderful Victorian dressing screen. I guess it's actually a more Art Nouveau, Art Deco. And that's their bed. So, and when they do meet Agatha Christie, they meet on board the Orient Express. So these are photos just so that when I'm writing about their trip on the Orient Express, I know how to describe it. And these are dolls from their childhood and from their doll collection. And and this of course is Esther Penn. This is the 203-year-old ghost and her story. And then this was Esther Penn's sea captain lover. And when she went out to the ship to surprise him one night, she caught him with this man. And of course they have a confrontation. They murder her. And this is his ship. And these are costume references. And she saw him bury this hidden stash of gold that he had stolen. So this is all going to be part of the story. And then I had to do some research of 18th century clothing. What would she be wearing when she went out to the ship to surprise her lover. And I have to decide whether it's going to be a dress under a cloak or is she wearing her kind of night chemise. I'll figure that out. This is the mother. But anyway, you get the idea. I do pay attention to every single detail. And I keep a copious writing journal. These are all my writing notes. And then these two binders is the actual story. This is the actual manuscript. It's growing quite a bit. This is the Braithwaite home. This is Greaves' Roost. And I'm borrowing this house for inspiration from a really horrible movie called Practical Magic. This is the grandfather on the Braithwaite side. And this is all his family. And this is one of my favorite characters. This is his daughter, or his granddaughter. This is Chatty Pie. And she has all our little chihuahuas that will be immortalized in this book. And she calls them her babies. So it's all coming along. I just now need to wrap up the writing and get on with it. Get it to my editor and get back to Pearl. But that's all the work going into writing a novel. I have to know where I am, where I'm going, how to move the characters around, who's who lives where. And with Caleb, he is totally shoe obsessed. So I have a whole collection of beautiful leather shoes that he wears. So my drawing skills come in handy as a writer. I don't know how other writers work if they can't draw, and I have to be able to see where people are and the actual setting of what's going on. It's just I just can't do it all in my head without some visuals. But this little world has, this mythical Cape Haddock has come to life for me. And, oh, also, here's something I just added as a thought. On the property, when they built WYTHE'S, they also built this little fairy house. And then the uncles, me and John, designed this little witch house for the kids. And if you look at the map, this is the train track for the Flying Orcadian that goes right through the Braithwaite Cemetery. And when you're going on a foggy night, this is the location of the fairy house and the witch's house. And this is where the gold coins are found. It's all, to me, it's a fascinating story. I love it. I mean, there's a lot going on. And I'm trying to find, oh, there's a Greaves' Roost. And then this is the route that Uncle Toby's wife, when she was training to swim the English Channel, she wanted to do a 2-mile swim from this wharf to Greaves' Roost. And this is where she gets attacked and eaten by a great white shark. Why not? So, hopefully when this is done, it'll be an interesting book and you'll want to read it. And you'll want to know all about Peacock, not Peacock. Peacock. Good night.